Welcome back everyone to GameZone Birdroom. GameZone. Well, we are back at Infomoriston. As you can tell, that was the bridge we were standing on last time we were here, and it's a different view. Look how stunning that is. Can you believe people do canoeing down this fast-paced rapids? The wild rapids, as I like to call it.
I'll leave you with this. Back to me in the studio.
Yes, we are back in the GameZone Birdroom studio. What have I got for you today, guys? Well, we are travelling back to 1992 at a place where it all started. Cascades Leisure Centre.
The place where I learnt to swim. Got my 10-metre award here. Also, it was the place where I found and discovered a very special game. Yes, it was at Cascades I discovered the phenomenon that is Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. What an amazing game. When I got out of the changing room, the first time I ever saw that arcade unit in all its glory, I was absolutely taken back. Never have I ever seen such large characters. The fluid animation, the detail in the background, everything was just so beautiful. Really was a stunning looking game. It really did take the world by storm. It was such a phenomenon at the time. Not only was it a great fighting game, you had 12 unique characters to play and choose from. It was a wonderful experience playing this at Cascades. I finally got to play it at home when my brother borrowed it from his friend Christopher on the Super Nintendo. And man, what an experience that was to play this game that I fell in love with at Cascades. I could insert that cartridge into my brother's games console and beat the crap out of him. And you know what? An 8-year-old me, I really couldn't tell the difference from this to the arcade. To me, it was arcade perfect. Now, where it's so readily available, you can actually do side-by-side comparisons, and you can tell the Super Nintendo version, there was a lot missing. But did that take away the experience that I had? Definitely not. Even still to this day, I enjoy this version of the game. But when could I experience this game all to myself? There was no concrete evidence to say when it was coming to the Sega Mega Drive. And man, did I want this game for the Mega Drive. And it was only a few months later, I was in the playground with my mates, playing probably it or something stupid. And yeah, one of my mates said, "It's finally coming." And I asked him, I said, "What?" He said, "Pick up Mean Machine magazine and you'll see." And you know what? A few days later, I did. And there it was. Finally, Mega Drive was going to get a version of Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. And boy, was I hyped for it. Finally, I was going to have my own version. Christmas 1993, I unwrapped Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition with a 6-button Mega Drive joypad. Yes, that brings us bang up to date, back in 2021. I do love remembering old stuff like that. Happier, simpler times. But what was these about on a Super Nintendo? These shoulder buttons. Oh, made playing Street Fighter very alien to me. I'm so used to having all the buttons there on the arcade unit. And that's where the Mega Drive 6-button joypad came into its own for that game. Anyway, as you probably saw from the thumbnail, this isn't about the original version. This is about this. This is Street Fighter 2 Remastered Edition for the Mega Drive. This was a ROM hacked that Pyrons Lair has been working on for 6 years. And now there's two ways to go about it. You can download the ROM onto your original game, which wipes the original game, but you get this lovely version. Or you can buy it from Etsy or Aliexpress. Now Etsy, for the cartridge, just for the cartridge itself, is like £18. I would leave the link for that version too, where this cost me with postage and VAT, not the case, the actual game was £7 something, £7.80, and the case I got for £9.99. So in the end I'm getting a case and the game for about the same price as the game on Etsy, which I'm really happy about. So it looks good with all my other Mega Drive games. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's compare this to the original. So first up is the original title screen. In PAL regions it was censored. But yeah, it's all there. It looks like the original arcade version. And now we have the remastered version. As you can tell right away, it is the uncensored version. The colour is a lot more pop. The buildings aren't as tall. And it sounds just a bit crisper. And as you can tell, the writing has been reworked. So let's get into the gameplay of the original. Let's go to my go-to guy, Ken. You gotta love a cocky American. Well, as you can tell with the original version, the colours are quite saturated. They're a bit overbearing. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with this version. Okay, the voice samples are quite scratchy. Sound terrible compared to the original SNES version. But overall, the gameplay plays just like the original arcade. Right, some of the sprites are missing, but overall, it's a fantastic version. I do think though, deep down, all us Mega Drive owners, we knew it could do a lot better. And we're just about to see as well. It's a great stage, you know, there's a lot going on with the people on their bikes. You've got people in the meat shop choking a chicken, is it? Choking a chicken. Oh, poor Chung-Li, beating up a woman. Awful. So here is the remastered edition. As you can tell, some of the portraits have got fine look details, like a lot more shadows than the original. And you've got blood on the first sign. and the colours they're just so much more natural. You've got a bit more detail in the background, you've got rocks on the pavement, and other little added details in the background. Also, the characters have been redrawn. They've got a few more animations to them. They look better. I love the colours he chose for them, you know, they really are not overbearing like the original. So much more natural. Also, the health bars have been reworked. They look more in line with Super Street Fighter. They just look a lot more modern. Yeah, he really has done a wonderful job of updating this classic. And as you can tell by the UKEN, you know, it's a lot more clearer than the original sort of scratchy version. Yeah, it used to hurt my ears, you know, how bad the characters sounded when they were doing their special moves. Especially when you compare it to the SNES version, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. You know, voices in that were so clear, and there's our Mega Drive sort of it sounds awful, but the voice samples have all been reworked as well. You can really tell that Pyrons Lair's put a lot of time and effort and love into this game. It really does look fantastic. Now back to the original. Zangief. He's a bad guy, but he's not really a bad guy. Again, going back to this version now, just how sort of red the reds are on this game. They really are oversaturated. I mean, back in the day, it didn't really bother me. But comparing the two, it just shows you that Capcom could have done a lot better. But to be fair, I mean, I think this was the first game that Capcom ever actually produced themselves for Sega. Usually Sega produced a lot of the Capcom games themselves. Capcom would give them the rights and they would produce the game in-house. Perhaps Capcom didn't understand the hardware as well as they understood the SNES. I don't know. I mean, with a 6-button joypad, this version played better than the Super Nintendo. If you've only got a 3-button though, you're fucked. I had a 6-button joypad, my brother had a 3-button, I used to kick his ass all the time. A bit unfair, but was fun. Here we go with the remastered version. See the extra little detail on Ken's portrait? It just gives it a bit more definition. And as you can tell, the fence is lower so you can see more of Ken. Which I think that's how the original arcade looked. So a lot of rework has been put into this game. The ceiling as well is slightly different colour, it looks better, it looks clearer. Even the action I think has been tweaked. Definitely feels easier to pull off some of the moves. Or it's actually just taken me 28 years to actually get good at this game. Who knows? I must say I am really impressed. Only had the game a few days now, and yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. Definitely my go-to Street Fighter on the Mega Drive now. And it's so nice to have it in a case, a cartridge, to play on my original Mark I Mega Drive. This really is the version the original release should have been. Let's hope they work on Super Street Fighter 2. That'd be good. The 4 extra fighters. Fantastic game, but the Mega Drive version really suffered in the sound and the voice samples again. And it didn't control as good as the Championship Edition, I don't think. This was definitely the better of the two. Now here's some stills of both games. Next up is everything that Pyrons Lair tweaked in the game. So, what are my early thoughts on Street Fighter 2 Remastered Champion Edition? You know what? Pyrons Lair has done an outstanding job. It really has. The detail on the sprites, the more natural colours, all the extra detail in the stages, everything has been reworked and it looks absolutely stunning. This is the version the original Street Fighter should have been for the Mega Drive. You know, it's only, what, 28 years late, but never mind. It has arrived and I am very happy with it. There will be a full review soon of this game, but I am just enjoying it at the moment. It really is an outstanding version. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Button bash that like, subscribe, hit that bell, and take it easy. GameZone!